Hello everyone. Are you ready to break down the thyroid and adrenals? So just as we did with the pineal gland, we are going to break down the thyroid and adrenals. That was really hard to say. Thyroid and adrenals. In as simplified and straightforward a way as possible. To fully appreciate the thyroid, we need to first address the parathyroid. It's something that not a lot of people know about, and so we don't study it, and a lot of people just ignore it altogether. So the parathyroid are small glands of the endocrine system next to the thyroid that regulate calcium in the body. They are extremely important to our bodily function. So the parathyroid hormone raises calcium levels, and then when low levels are detected, and typically when high levels are detected, they will try to lower levels of calcium. So calcium is crucial for bone and teeth health, nerve transmission, hormone secretion, muscle contraction, and cardiac function, just to name a few. There are many, many benefits to calcium. And by the way, drinking milk will not give you the appropriate amount of calcium that you need, just to let you know. They also maintain phosphorus levels. So your parathyroid controls calcium and phosphorus levels, which are necessary for, again, healthy bones and teeth and metabolism of glucose and lipids, and is an important component to DNA and proteins. So you need to have a really good balance of calcium and phosphorus in the body. It is crucial for thyroid, organ, and bone health, amongst other functions. They pretty much play a humongous role in our whole bodies. So we're going to move on to the thyroid as a whole now. So everyone is aware that there are pretty much two distinct conditions that affect the thyroid. We've got hypo and hyperthyroidism. These two conditions are autoimmune diseases that can be prevented with early detection and natural care. Thyroid dysfunction has been linked with hypochlorhydria, which we've talked about in previous episode when we broke down the gut health. Hypochlorhydria is a condition in which the production of HCl, which is your hydrochloric acid in your stomach, is low, thus causing indigestion, pancreatic issues, reduced absorption of nutrients, and much more. I forget about some of the topics that we've discussed because I've just talked about so many of them, and I've taught so many workshops that I kind of forget what I've recorded and what I haven't. So I can't remember if we talked about HCl and how when it's low, it can create a bunch of different issues, including asthma. But if you are interested, I believe I did an episode on the gut. And if I did, if I'm correct, you can go back and give it a listen, and you can learn a little bit about HCl and how important it is to our bodily function. So moving on to hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism creates an increased need for vitamin B12 and folate. And the guinea pig's about to drink water. I try to get it so that she's sleeping, but it's like having a toddler. It's really annoying. Anyway, hypothyroidism creates an increased need for vitamin B12 and folate. Low levels of zinc can also contribute to hyperthyroid. So you've got two distinct issues with the thyroid that have vitamins that are the vitamins and minerals that are the contributing factor as to why your thyroid is either overfunctioning or underfunctioning. So hypo refers to underactive thyroid, which means it doesn't produce enough thyroid hormone. This is usually caused by a malfunctioning pituitary gland and can lead to a myriad of symptoms. Now, on Saturday, I'm going to be talking about the importance of understanding adrenal insufficiency, and the pituitary gland is also really connected with adrenal function as well. So it's really important to maintain healthy pituitary function. They are interconnected. Everything is interconnected, especially with the endocrine system. So hypothyroidism is often known as Hashimoto's, and this is when the immune system attacks the thyroid. This is probably the most common thyroid issue that I'm seeing. Hashimoto's is preventable and it is reversible. So I just want to let you guys know that. So hyper is an overactive thyroid, which means that too much thyroid hormone is produced. It is often known as Graves' disease, which is also an autoimmune disease in which an antibody known as thyrotropin, mimics pituitary hormone, which overrides the system. This is rarer. It's much more rare than Hashimoto's, but it does still exist. So thyroid medication will make these situations worse. I always make sure to tell anybody with thyroid conditions that they need to slowly wean off their thyroid medication as we bring in new supplements and supports. However, I do not prescribe anything. I do recommend. So I do recommend that anyone who's on thyroid medication wean off of it, just because it's going to cause more issues and it's going to cause more thyroid breakdown. The best approach is gut health and support. So this is where I come in. I do not prescribe any medication. I am not going to tell people to come off their medication at all. It is a recommendation. It is not me saying, okay, come off your medication now because it's going to cause problems. No, just want to reword what I just said. What we will do is we will work on their gut health and their support, getting their HCl up, as well as removing heavy metal and toxins, carcinogens, things like that, and working in specialized supplementation through nutrition and then recommended supplemental products that they can run by their doctor. There are always underlying reasons as to why the thyroid and other hormones in the body are malfunctioning, and addressing these underlying causes allows the thyroid to heal. So now we move on to the adrenals. Again, thyroid and adrenals are very interconnected. If you have insufficiency in one, not always, but it is likely that you'll have insufficiency in the other. So the adrenals are located above the kidneys, and they regulate immune function, blood pressure, metabolism, stress response, proper utilization of carbs and fats, and they help distribute stored fat, promotes healthy GI function, healthy cardiovascular function, etc., etc. So they are very important. The adrenal hormones are responsible for so many important functions throughout the body by releasing various hormones, including adrenaline, aldosterone, cortisol, DHEA, and norepinephrine. So adrenaline is produced during fight or flight situations in order to trigger blood vessels to contract and redirect blood toward major muscle groups that can dull pain responses, increase strength temporarily, and heighten awareness. This is usually what happens when you are needing to fly from a situation where you've been crushed under something. Your adrenaline will give you that temporary strength to lift things. So it's like a magic drug, basically. Aldosterone regulates blood pressure by sending signals to organs to increase sodium or decrease potassium. It also helps maintain the blood's pH and electrolyte levels. Now, cortisol is the main stress hormone and is released during stress, both physical and mental. This is a hormone that you need to pay very close attention to, because you can go into a cortisol drip if you are burnt out or you have high stress situations constantly. It does help control blood sugar levels, regulate metabolism, reduce inflammation, and assists with memory formation. However, if your cortisol is too high, it can actually decrease memory formation and can cause brain fog. So you really need to make sure that those cortisol levels are balanced. And we'll talk more about that in the YouTube video that I'm going to be uploading on Saturday. DHEA can help with anti-aging as it increases energy, muscle strength, immunity, and decreases body weight. Norepinephrine is a neurotransmitter that plays a role in mood and concentration. It also helps the body in response to stress and exercise by increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar to provide more energy. In the brain, it also plays a role in the sleep-wake cycle, attention, and memory. So as you can see, all of these hormones are really important. However, you can also see how an imbalance in one or more can cause a breakdown. So these two parts, your thyroid and adrenals, there are multiple adrenals, even your parathyroid, are crucial parts of the endocrine system and control a lot of the regular bodily functions that we sometimes take for granted. There's always a gradual decline in health, and usually the thyroid and adrenals begin dysfunction more downstream. So you will probably notice that the gut is one of the biggest underlying causes for thyroid malfunction, correct? So we go back to the gut is our number one focus first. And then if the gut health is poor, the thyroid and adrenals don't have the capability to perform optimally. This is also in conjunction with sex hormones as well. So getting your gut fixed and optimal, working optimally, is going to help the thyroid and adrenals and other hormones throughout your body, the whole endocrine system, regain balance, and you're going to be supporting your entire body. You're going to have fewer allergies, fewer mood swings, and your thyroid and adrenals are going to have the time they need to heal. But stress also plays a huge factor in how your adrenals respond and how your hormones are released. So putting yourself into a gut program, but also putting yourself into burnout situations and high stress situations constantly is not going to help your body at all. So it's important that you have a balance. So anyway, if you have any questions about these two really important organs, please let me know and reach out. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get the update for Saturday's video. It's going to be really interesting. We're talking about adrenal insufficiency, very important topic. So be sure to subscribe. It's really important that we all know what that feels like and looks like. So until next time, have a beautiful life. I will talk to you next Wednesday.